Thank you for the correction. Excellent. Excellent. Okay, I see the registrar's note. Thank you. Wow. Place our swings. Place our swings.
Jim Jordan, Representative Jim Jordan, winning the internet with 3-sentence improvement to decrease birth prescription. Yet posing the CV restrictions on Americans ahead of the holiday season, urging them to cancel lockdowns rather than think.
Okay, now reshare. Okay, so move this so I can talk to you. I've got this bar in my way. All right, so I've done a couple things that make it useful to use. And the point is, I'm going to zoom out on the project and to give you a better idea of why we're trying to do this. Now, this gives you a graphic representation of the project. You can see where all the tasks are going along. You'll know where the critical path ones, because they'll be in red, and I haven't put them all in on this. I've just put the others in. And every time you got a little gold one here, you know you got one segment of the project going on. But from this chart, can you tell me where it's going to be difficult to manage it? It's going to be right in here. In this one little area right here, you have more than 31 tasks going on at the same time. And for a project manager, that's the type of stuff you're trying to keep up with. It's, while you can go over onto this list and you can find out these things by looking at the list and the dates and what's going on at the same time, it's hard for our brains as humans to wrap these types of things to get a full understanding of it. So by putting it into a graphical format, you can say, oh, I can see that we have a lot of things going on right in here, and I'm going to have to be paying especially close attention. That's not true like you get in this one little area right in here. It's just, they're very consecutive, just one right after another, not a big deal, may have one or two going at the same time, but then you hit this one period here, it just starts to blow up. And it's the critical time of the project. And as a project manager, you've got to keep up with those types of things. This is why the Gantt chart is so important. It's not only important to you, you will share this with other people so that they understand where they're involved and how their information is being used. Gantt charts oftentimes have feedback loops on them too, so that actual dates versus projected dates, all those things begin to play into that. We're not doing any of those. I'm sorry. Probably making you seasick in the process here. Technically, you could do this all just by the dates, but it's difficult to communicate that. And as a project manager and as an operations manager, your job is to communicate effectively, just like it is in any other managerial job. You have to communicate the needs and desires for the company, and that's your job. And you do that through a lot of different ways. This Gantt chart tells a story. It tells a story of what this project is supposed to look like. And like all good stories, it has a build up, it has a climax, and then it has a conclusion to it. And so people who master this idea of storytelling in business do exceptionally well. And if you can see this as a story and not just a chart, then you begin to understand why this is important, because you're dealing with people and not machines. Doing what we just done in Microsoft Project would take maybe about 4 hours, believe it or not. But knowing how everything works and how it's related is the critical part. You have to be able to get that. So that's the reason we've been building this, plus you've been building your Excel skills in the process. So one of the things I want you to go through is, and I want you to use the conditional formatting, and I want you to change the dates of the weekends, or the color of the weekends. And the mine's dynamic. I've set it up that way. So if I change this to December 15th, everything shifts with it. And so in my case, I have it looking for the first letter of the day of the week. And if it's an S, then it grays it out like this. That's just conditional formatting, nothing else. So if I go up to conditional formatting and open up manage rules that I have up there, oh, not the current selection, this worksheet. There we go. So I have one right here, and I have it measuring for the entire, every column in the worksheet. It goes over the whole area. And if you want to go into it, you can go in and look. And all I'm looking for is this value of S to be in that cell. And if it is, it's changing it to the color scheme that's right there below it. Very, very simple. Simple in concept doesn't mean it's easy to do, guys. And it's just, you learn to do these things. You practice them, and that's what we're doing. So I have 3 color sets in my setup. I have an A, H, and C. A is everything that's when there's work going on that day. Gold is for a header, and C is for critical path. And S, in that case, was for Saturday, Sunday. Again, setting it up this way allows you to mentally break this up into weeks so you know where things are as a project manager. If you leave those Saturday and Sundays in there, even if you're working those weekends, it lets you know that this is what's going on. It's a quick reference guide for you mentally. Now, how do you get 3 colors to work here? That's a problem. Because if you're doing this by a simple if statement, you can do 2 colors without much of a problem. Doing the 3rd color becomes a little bit more complicated. And so I don't know if you can see what I've done up here. I'm not using the standard if statement. I'm using the ifs with an S on the end of it. Once I added the 3rd item. I'm still using the same and statement that we were using before. And then this is, it's in the and statement. I'm looking for the dates. And then in column D over here for critical path, I'm looking to see if there's a star in it for the first one. And if there is, I'm putting a C in it. That's what that means. And then the next one, the next set, here's another test with the and if that's true, it'll put an H in. Now, the way the if statement works is that the first thing it runs into that's true, it does the result of that. So if it runs across and it finds out critical path is there first, it will jump out of the if statement and just go ahead and put the C in. But if that fails, it goes to the next one. And if that one fails, it goes to the next one, and so on and so forth. And it can do 128 checks that way. But if you only do the 3 colors, you'll get an error on any area of the worksheet that doesn't actually have a value in it. Because the if statement doesn't know how to evaluate, it gets gotten to the end and it's got no value, it's false. It wants to print a false. So you have to put in a statement that's going to be true in this case. And so I go all the way out here at the end, and instead of putting an and statement, I use an or statement. And I use the date functions that we were using, and I use the opposites of them. So if it's outside the date range, in other words, in both cases, then I just want to put a blank in there. I tell it to do that. That way, under every single circumstance that the if statement will see, the ifs plural statement will see, it has an option to do something. I'm going to pause for a second. If you need to do a screen capture or something on that equation, you might want to take a hard look at it. Do a print screen or something like that, or it's big enough for you. This is the end of the project. Now, we could go one step further, but I'm not going to. I could make you go in and add a gray for the holidays also, but I'm not going to do that. That requires an additional 2 sets of programming to add to it, and I don't want to do that to you right now. So I want you to go through, and your chart should come back looking a lot like mine now. 3 colors on the chart for the progress that's going on. And I'm going to click here and we'll zoom back out so that you can begin to get a really good picture of what the project looks like over time. That's what you're after. Any questions? Everybody good?
The thing that's got me hung up is when you get to a header,
Yeah.
like you're pulling down your start and end dates, how to skip over that information in that row, because then it adds in when it shouldn't be adding in, because it's got like a duration that's really of the everything below it.
Right, so you're doing a min-max on it. And so the gold is not, those gold lines that you see on my screen are not actual project dates. They're projects within that header. So you're doing a min-max to get those, right? And the duration for them. And so this is a visual representation of how long that set of tasks takes.
Oh, no.
And you want that to be dynamic all the way through. Everything should be dynamic. The only place you should have an actual date is at the top. Up here.
I missed about half of that. You started breaking up and freezing and everything. Sorry, but
yeah. Sorry, I don't know if it's
crucial moment. Of course, you had to,
Cool internet. Okay. All right. So everything should be dynamic. These headers, you have dates on these, and you're calculating those using the min-max. They represent everything under this.
Yep.
This gold line is a representation of how long this segment of the project takes to complete.
Right. So what I was asking you is, like, I'm pulling down from the top, going down with my start date and my finish date, and when I pass over that, how to tell the program not to include the information in the header, because it has the start and finish date of that header section only, and I wanted to pull my dates all the way down without including that information, and I can't figure out how to jump over it.
Okay, so you're trying to jump over it and you shouldn't be. What you should be doing is including it. So let me see if I can turn off my conditional formatting here. No, it didn't let me do that. Conditional formatting, manage rules. Oh, I don't care. I'll just delete them. Okay, so notice what's really on my screen. For a header, it actually puts an H. For critical path, it actually inserts a C. I don't know why I picked an A or an X. You could use any letter here for ones where it's just running normally. Then I have a header down here, and then I have another critical path that I put in there. Plus, that's not the real critical path. That's just my testing of the critical path. And let me go ahead and open this up a little bit. Okay, so this is what I'm actually generating from this equation up here going on. So in the first one, I'm going through, the very first one, I'm going through and I'm evaluating to see if it's on the critical path. And if it's on the critical path, if it's true, it puts in a C and it jumps out. It's not doing anything more. And if that comes back false, then it goes to the next one. So the next one says, basically go through and I'm checking on to see if there's a header. And if there's a header, then it puts in the H right here and it jumps out. And the next one goes in and it says, oh, I'm just checking between the dates. And I could just as easily change this to an X right here. Give you an example. And I'll change it to an X. That's the day that just regular work is going on. It's not a header and it's not on the critical path. But then I also have one that falls into here that gives me a blank if the work is not between the two dates. If that date on the calendar is not between the two dates of work, then it just leaves a blank for me. So if I take that out, what happens is it appears that the equation breaks down. It doesn't. It's just saying the value that we found doesn't fit into the if statement that you've given me. So if I go and I put it back in, and it's saying that this date down, these dates right here don't fit. This date doesn't fit between these two, and I don't know what to do with it. That's all it's saying. So by putting in this or statement, we'll put it back in. I've now told it, oh yeah, when you get to one of those, just put a blank in. As you see, it'll do that and it works nicely. So don't try to do either or, try to do it. You need to be able to say, I get it working for one, I'm gonna set that aside, and then I'll get it working for another one, I'll set that aside. You get them all working, and then you put them all together. You saw how I just took the one apart. I could just as easily take all of these out of here. And that one doesn't work because it's not on the critical, but now I'm looking for anything on critical path. So critical path works. Got critical path working. Then I can say, okay, critical path is working. Now I need to work on, I'll put this back in, and now I said, now I want to work on critical path and header. I want to get the header working. Oh, goodness, escape. I need to go back here to the top. Right here. Okay. And well, let's go ahead and do that. Drag this down. Well, what's not working now? the average day is working and critical path is working, but headers aren't working, are they? It's because there's no header content up here at the top. So I'll copy what I did with critical path. And I'll put it on the other side of here. And I'm going to want it to put in an H when I get the header correct, not a C. But I also have to change the column that I'm dealing with. And it's not C in this case, but D. I mean, or C, not D. So I'm going to change this one right here. And that's all I have to change. Now, when I go down, it puts them in, all three of them. It's actually putting in 4 because the blank is also. And you can make the blank not a blank. You can make it anything else. We could make it a B for being blank. Let's drag that down. So it's obvious to you. There we go. That means it's supposed to be a blank. It feels complicated, but you break it up into little bitty pieces and you use them as building blocks. You build one block and then you build another block and then you build another block and put these together. You're saying he's killing us with Excel here. It's suicide by Excel, right?
Well, I'm learning a lot. We're learning it. That's you know what I mean?
That's the point. And there's not but one way to learn Excel, and that's by pounding through it, honestly.
Here's something I learned. If I get something right, I need to close it and save file and then reopen it. And then my next step, if I mess up and I can't figure out how to undo it, I can just close it and don't save file, and it goes back to where it was before I messed up. But you have to do it in small increments to keep from, because if you change a whole bunch of stuff and then you do something and you can't figure out how to change it back, if you close the file, you lose everything. If you don't save, you lose everything you did during that time period. So I'll do one little thing, save it. Do another little thing, save it. So that's helping me a little bit.
That's why I don't mind undoing all the equations I've got on here. Because I've got it saved like 4 different times in 4 different names. That's actually what I do. And then you just apply after you get this part working, where you're getting it generating the letters and all that you want, all you have to do then is apply the conditional formatting. But get one working at a time. Get it so that it's doing critical path for you. Get it so it's doing the header for you. And then get it so it's doing the average day of the week or whatever it is, work day. Whichever one of those you want to do at a time, and then build off of each one of those.
And something else, we're not doing predecessors in this.
Oh yeah. No, we're doing predecessors in this. Oh yeah. No,
well, I was looking at your chart there. It doesn't look like they're included. And that's another thing I'm stuck on. I can't. Is there a formula that you can?
Okay, so now it's not a simple way. So for instance, I'll go right here. I'm on this row, right under document review and revision. Okay, and so this date says 4, right up here, is the predecessor. So I go into this list and I go, oh, right there, and I go up to the end of 4, and I said this should equal that. So I simply go equals and the end of 4, right there. And that's it.
Oh, okay. Well, see, so you have to do each individual one, then you have to do a maximum if you get 2 or 3 of them in there or something.
So right here, I do it that way right here. So the start date, I do a max for those 2 values for 6 and 10, and they show up there. And I do the same thing for 10, 11, and 12. It seems like that takes a long time to do, but honestly, it doesn't take but about 10 minutes to do it on the whole sheet.
Okay, I was trying to figure out a formula for it too.
No, Now, there's some things that formulas, you could do this in the formula, but honestly, at this point in for most of you, your Excel skills, that's asking too much.
Yeah.
You can
My
do
brains
this.
was,
You can split up the numbers. You can break them out based on commas. You can pull out each one, do a VLOOKUP. You have to do conversion from text to numbers for each one of those sets, and then you do a VLOOKUP and return the value and do the min max, and you do it, in this case, 3 times. It's too much for me to ask you to do that. I do not want to create too many failures in the process. I do want you to succeed and finish this. And I'm telling you that you get this working, guys, post this up to your LinkedIn account. You're allowed to post a certain number of files up to LinkedIn. This shows people that you have had experience working with Excel. You aren't going to get many projects that are more complex than this one. This shows 2 things: project management and Excel ability. Haha, play on words there, Excel ability. I'm always quite witty, right? More questions?
so we could put that on our resume. I have Excel ability.
Yeah, that's it. No, I'm saying put the spreadsheet on your resume. Oh. Anybody else? You are welcome to send me a note and say, hey, can we talk about the spreadsheet? Don't wait until Sunday night to do this on me. Next Sunday night. I'd be willing to do a Zoom meeting with you, 2 or 3 of you if you want, and to kind of get you over the hump where you are, where you're stuck. Okay? A couple of them came by the office Wednesday after class, and I think we got them moving in the right direction. Are we good?
Yeah, I have a question.
Yes, sir.
So the project is due on this Monday.
No, the Monday after Thanksgiving.
Oh, okay. Thank you. And another question is, when will you be uploading the videos from this week?
I've uploaded Mondays and a number of the other videos already. They were uploaded yesterday, and I'll upload this one immediately after class.
Okay, thank you so much.
It takes about 45 minutes to an hour for YouTube to convert it.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Are we good?
Yeah. So as long as we capture the details that you asked for and they don't maybe exactly the same way that yours is set up, like say,
Right.
for instance, that title section where you want the title, the start date, end date, duration, created by, and all that. If it looks different than what you got, as long as we got the right information, is that okay?
Ask your question again for me.
Is that like that little block up in the corner there that's blue? If we have it designed a different way, as long as we capture all the information that you've got within there, does that matter?
That's fine.
Okay.
That's
And
fine.
then the colors don't have to match as far
I know
as
the colors don't have to match. What I'm not concerned, and I'm going to open your spreadsheet and I'm actually going to play with it. And so I want to see what's working and what's not. Okay. And that's why I'm more concerned about, yes, you have a critical path on here. Put your critical path from your chart. If it's wrong, I'm not grading off on it here. That's already submitted. So just use what you've got. And so your critical path will show up on here that you have. I'm not grading that part of it. Okay. What I'm grading is the functionality of the sheet and the visual usability.
Oh gosh, no, that threw a wrench into the works because I know my critical path now that I've moved on down the line is completely out of whack.
Which does, so I'm saying, don't worry about that. Mark what you have as critical path on here and don't worry about
Okay.
it. Okay.
Okay.
If you want to change it, that's completely up to you. Okay.
Oh, okay.
What I'm looking at is, does it work? I mean, if I mark it as critical path on here, any item on here, do I get a change so it looks like a critical path on the sheet? Okay.
Okay. Because the headers, I thought the yellow lines were headers too, and instead of just skipping over the green ones when I was doing my flow chart or whatever, the critical path, I skipped over the yellow ones too.
No worries.
And that screwed everything up. And I just,
yeah, it will. And that would have seriously messed because you've got a bunch of things you missed that are on the critical path. But don't worry about that. That's why I'm saying set that aside. You have a critical path you identified. Mark it on here and then leave it alone. You can change it if you want to, but don't fret over it. Go focus on getting the rest of the sheet functional. That's where almost all your points are going to be.
okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm doing fairly, I think I'm doing fairly well on that, where I got like, in a section there, I'm doing the maximum end dates to put in the header what the end of that header section was. And if
Sure.
you, all the way down, if you change like the start date, everything changes. I mean,
Good.
so I've got it all connected, I think. Okay. It's just, I just got stuck on the skipping
Sure.
or the headers and the predecessors. I got to go in there and get those in there. So
It doesn't take long. You really just go through and you find them. Makes it really easy.
appreciate it.
Guys, if more of you have questions, those of you who have questions can stick around. Everybody else is dismissed to go. I'll help anybody who wants to stick around and share anything they want or looking for pointers on their spreadsheet. Guys, I will see you after Thanksgiving. Be super safe, okay? I want you back here next Monday.
I have one question.
Yes.
Can you show how you did on the IFS function, how you tested for the if false to make it show blank?
Yeah.
With the R
Yeah.
function again?
Absolutely.
Or function.
Whoops. Escape. It's right here. It's an or statement. And I took, you notice how we got the dates in here? We got a greater than equals to, in my case, it was checking the date, the day, K7 on both cases. And so it's checking these two boxes against a date that exists right there.
Mm-hmm.
And if it exists, it puts an X in. If it doesn't, it goes on to the next. And here is where H11, I'm saying it's not within the date range on that side, and it's not within the date range on the other side. If that's the case, just put a B in. That's it. Can you see it? I got it highlighted there.
Okay, yeah. So that's the same, effectively the same thing as what's in the AND functions already.
Yes, it is. It's exactly. That's why I said you're creating a building block each time,
Mm-hmm.
except you're changing out the greater than, there's no equal to in this, because equal would be a true statement earlier. And,
Mm-hmm.
and so you just switch out to the opposite values, so you're outside the range. It's excluding a subset, if you remember from like 7th grade math.
Yeah. Absolutely. Okay, cool. So that's what I did is copy and pasted the in between the greater than or equal than thing, and then just changed which cell it was looking for the specific value to be true or not.
Right.
To, of course, paint the H or the C or whichever.
Okay.
Okay, cool. I think I got that.
Sense?
Awesome. Yes, sir.
Okay, how far along are you?
Is mine?
Yeah.
Let's see. Let me share my screen. I can go ahead and do that.
Sure. I think I have to stop share in order to do that. Okay, go ahead. Okay, so you're pretty close. You got to make the header show.
Mm-hmm.
You've got the weekend showing now, and then you got to put in the critical path. So, yeah.
So I got the critical path right here. Yeah. So I've got to finish that with this OR thing. I've got my sheet separate. So this is a table, and this is my
That's fine.
little thing. So
Sure.
it's all attached to this right here.
Okay.
So the first thing in here is going to be that attaches to this one.
All right. That works.
And then this is my work day, of course. It's just got 21 federal holidays from
Sure, that's
2020.
all I did. So, okay, so you're really just working to get your color schemes in. So
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
I would work out the one to put in, well, if you do critical path and header, they're both the same. So that's 2 of the 3 that you need. And you've already got the X working. So yeah, you're pretty close.
Mm-hmm.
Or the standard day. So, okay, cool. All right. Anybody else got a question? All right, guys, be safe.
I was just listening in for anybody, you know, if everybody was, I'd have hung
There's
around.
only 3 of you left. There's only 3 of you left in the class right
And I
now.
figured if anybody's, they might get into a conversation of something I hadn't even thought of yet or something. So I said, I'm going to hang around and listen to what people talk about.
Well,
So.
it does, and that's the nice thing about Zoom is we can share screens like this. The only thing I don't like about it is that I can't take control and actually go and type in the spreadsheet. That would be great if it'll let me do that. So,
Hey, something I thought about, and I don't know, you're probably like, nah, I got too much to do, but when back at Walter State, when I was over there, we had to go to virtual. Well, our calculus teacher set up an evening, like a study hall. And if everybody wanted to come or was having problems, could join together, you know, every evening for an hour and just do like we're doing right now. And it's like an extra class, but I don't know if you, or even if you didn't join in, if we had like a Zoom where we could do, I tried to find the study groups, and I'm having trouble finding if there's a study group for this class or whatever.
there's not one for this class.
Okay. And I've been struggling because I'm, like I said before, I'm completely.
People have always thought this class was too easy. So, honestly, no, it's not anymore, but it used to be a really easy class. And I turned it into a class that I believe is truly useful when you hit the marketplace.
Yeah.
So it's still evolving. If you take it one year to the next, it's very different class each year. So this project, though, is the first year we've done this project, and I will reuse this project going forward with some modifications. So, okay, so what problem are you having there? I can't really see. Let me see if I can blow it up.
I'm still struggling on the second portion of that. So I've got
Can you zoom in a little bit more for me, and I'll take a look. Can you, on the bottom right, can you zoom in on yours so I can see a little bit better? I don't have resolution enough on the screen. Yeah, you got to make everything bigger.
It's not wanting to let me do
Just
that.
hit the escape button. Hit the escape button. Okay, now go zoom
Oh,
in.
there we go. There we go.
Okay. All right, now go.
Well, it took out my OR function.
That's all right. Let's go ahead and create it again. I'll walk you through it. Nope, you got to put it outside the parenthesis. It's got to be, take out that parenthesis, remember.
This one?
Yeah, that one's got to come out.
Oh, okay, I see.
Comma.
And then
you got to put in 2 more parentheses on the other side. On your OR. So the OR has to have a
for the
parenthesis,
end, right?
and then you have to have a closing one for the
whole thing. Yeah.
So now you can copy everything you got.
Oh, I've got to copy everything?
No, you need to copy from the beginning of the and statement all the way. Well, no, not the beginning. Right there, that part of it.
Ah, I see.
Oh, no, not all that. That's too much.
Oh, just this and right here.
Yeah, yeah, that and right there. Now just take out the and. You got a lot of extra stuff there. Take out the and. Back up one more time. Okay. You got one too many parentheses on the end. On the very end. Okay, that you clean that up. Okay. So now you go in and you change to a less than sign on the first one. Yep. And you need to put your close quote for the or statement after $5. And you take out the equals. No, you leave the X in. You're going to make it a blank.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, and then you take out the equals and you take out the cell reference. Let's see if you've done that with the others. Your others look okay. That was just weird. Where'd you get that?
Which one?
Oh, I see why. Oh, it was the additional part of the and statement. Okay. I think you got one too many close parentheses. Okay, see what happens.
There we go. Okay, so there's that. So let's see what it does with the link cells. All right, sweet. So I think that set it.
All right, so you should be able to drag down and drag across now.
Should be about.
Going up close, right? Well, yeah, that's it.
There we go.
Takes a minute. That's a lot of cells to copy them into. There you go.
It is. It's a lot of conditional. There is something in my form, my whole document earlier, and it was just freezing up my Excel, and I could not figure out what. There's a circular reference somewhere. And it just
yeah, that creates problems.
And it happened to be in the ID section right here. Somehow I'd accidentally created just from doing stuff over, and it accidentally made a formula in here that it did not like at all. And it was like, we can't, it said there's a circular reference somewhere, but we can't show you where.
Right.
The alert that came up.
The problem is circular references create problems for the spreadsheet. It doesn't want to work when it hits a circular reference.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right. So now you just work on your rules.
Yep. So it should be.
So you go down. No. Use a formula determined by the cell contains. That's it. Got to make it equal to.
Mm-hmm.
No. Just put in the H.
Oh, it doesn't have the.
No, it'll put it in automatically.
Okay, cool.
Okay, now change the formatting. That's it.
Yeah, I had the headers to yellow.
You don't have to put them to any color that I had. You can use anything you want to use.
I had a little key up here that I was going to try to follow.
All right, that's fine. And you have to change your font. Change your font.
Oh, yep, that's got to be same color. Cool.
Nice when a plan comes together.
Yep.
Michael, you remember that quote, right? Yep, you're almost finished with that.
Oh yeah, it's so close. This was my last little, making all these the colors was my last little thing.
I haven't turned on the Dropbox for it. I'll go ahead and do that, and we'll make sure that happens. So, all right, I have another meeting coming up. I'm going over to the music department to help them do strategic planning. So,
all right, sounds good. I appreciate the help.
I've had fun. This was
I know it's been great. Absolutely. The stuff I've learned in Excel too through this class has been awesome.
I'm not sure everybody appreciates that. Matter of fact, I know they don't appreciate it. I'm getting questions of why is he teaching me this? And I don't want to learn this. And I'm going, this is the most important thing you'll learn. You'll forget about everything else about operations, but if you remember the Excel stuff, you're a winner on this one. So
I know it's almost like riding a bike at a certain point, like you can pick it up again.
yes, it will
Even
be. And there's
That's
tons
what I
of
found
videos
some
on all of this. So yeah, this class will become even more Excel intense on the next iteration. So all right, guys, I hope you all have a good day, and I will
all right,
have a happy Thanksgiving, okay?
yes, sir.
Yeah,
You too.
too.
Bye-bye.
Thanks.